Hello everybody, my name is Julia and welcome to our tiny little homestead here at Urban Yoke. It's been a little while since we have posted an update on our garden, on our vlog, and the reason for that, well, I haven't been doing so well recently and I have a new treatment plan for my illness. If you want to know more about that, I'll leave a link down in the description for you as well, so that you can have a look if you'd like to know more about that and how that has been going and what the new treatment plan entails. But it involves a lot of exercise and takes up quite a bit of my time. And then on top of starting a new treatment plan, we had family visiting that stayed down in the Eastern Cape, down by the coast, and that is quite far away, so having them over was quite the event. It's the first time we had them at this home of ours, along with Charles' other sister as well, so it was a nice family reunion of his side of the family. We decided to make some delicious treats for everybody. We made stew and bread and all sorts of wonderful things, but what I particularly loved doing was actually making the different tarts or pies. So the first one we did was the cocoa cream pie, and a cocoa cream pie I cannot explain. There's just something about it that I absolutely adore. It's something that's quite easy to make. Putting the pie or tart dough together is such an easy task, and you work with it basically immediately. Then making this beautiful, just like a crunchy base for your cocoa cream tart or your cocoa cream pie, as most of the cooking happens on the stove for the filling. Then you put it into the crust that you've cooked and allow it to set in the fridge and top with whatever you prefer, be it meringue or cream itself. Very tasty, goes down well with adults and children, and it's just so I don't know, just the texture about it and everything. I really love it, and I think I'll be making it more often for us this winter. It's autumn-winter period. But the other treat that we got together was also a kind of a tart, and it's something I've been looking forward to making since we put the strawberries and blackberries and raspberries in. Now the strawberries, they didn't actually make it because, well, we just kept eating them. But the raspberries I did save, and there are still a few berries coming out, so I was saving them in the freezer for this one special tart that I got to make. And we had some blueberries from a nearby farm as our blackberries and flowers. So with those blueberries from the farm and the raspberries we grew ourselves, so we made this delicious berry tart. And I must say it was one of my favorite things, and it was several months in the making, growing them and just kind of nurturing the plant to the point where I was able to have enough raspberries to add to this tart and to share it with the family. It was a beautiful experience and I loved making it. Not as experienced in baking just yet, but once I do get a bit more experienced, I can actually share how I cook, or how I bake rather. Once the family visit was over, we had to jump into our winter prep or autumn prep. So we decided to start with our little shade house slash greenhouse that is here behind me. We brought in, at the beginning of the summer or spring season last year, we brought in bales, straw bales or grass bales to use as raised beds, and also use as a little border for the greenhouse. And over the season they had broken down very beautifully, so what we wanted to do was take out all of the summer/spring plants and then, you know, level everything out, so now that we could have a slightly more organized area and everything that would be mulched for the winter time. Sam, leave her alone. Oh, go on. Are you going to? Don't go to Sam. He's the one giving you back. We then also took out the brassicas that we had growing and just replanted them after we had spread out what was left of the grass bales and what was left of the bit of compost that was mixed with them as well. We have some peas growing inside the greenhouse too. It was just a few plants, so I've added a few more seeds and a few more chard seeds as well. I'm hoping to get a lot of chard and kale this weekend. Sorry, my mind is elsewhere. I mean this winter season, because it is such a delicious plant for me, and in the cold it actually has a slightly sweeter flavor. It's a little bit more of a vibrant flavor, if I could describe it that way. But it's also something that buying it in the shop is a bit of a nuisance, because you have to buy a lot of it and it's never particularly fresh, and we don't have too many places where we can buy it, like, you know, freshly cut that day. So growing it adds a lot to our diet that we wouldn't typically find in what we have available in our local area. I am hoping they continue. Then Charles and we also have quite a few strawberry plants that made lots of runners and a few randoms that actually came up from seed. So we got them all together and also put that inside the greenhouse at the back. Charles went ahead and planted them before I went ahead and replanted or transplanted all of our brassicas. I didn't have any labels, so I don't know what's kale, what's broccoli, or, you know, anything of that kind, but I'm sure I'm sure we'll find out shortly. But either way, I like to eat the broccoli leaves too, so for me it's a win-win no matter what it is, whether we get heads or not. I quite enjoy it. Plus, so far I feel like it's just been a success with our garden, considering when we got here it was still in a transitionary period into becoming a garden itself, in a sustainable garden, and we were able to add to that in such a beautiful way and in such a short time. And I look forward to bringing this place up to scratch over the next 2 years, so that once we move, whoever takes this over will have a really abundant and homely garden setup and house, so that it, you know, it will just be easy and comfortable. Something beautiful just to hand off to someone. So yeah, we got our shade house slash greenhouse ready for our autumn winter season, and you know, a few other things in the garden that needed a little bit of trimming here and there, but that's what we've been up to. Family visits and gardening and of course seeing the biokineticist for myself. Like I said, if you want to know more about that journey, I'll leave links down in the description. But yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little update. They will be more frequently now that I have started to figure out my schedule a bit better. And yes, if you have any questions, do ask them down below. And as always, thank you for watching. Bye.